For some people, it's been several months of working from home, and while there are benefits, it can also lead to burning out.
So joining us now with some ways to prevent at-home burnout is clinical psychologist Maneet Bhatia. Maneet, good morning. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, before we get into prevention, maybe we should go over some of the common signs of a burning out. What should we be looking for?
Yes, that's a good question. So things we look for are, physical, emotional, mental exhaustion. So things like, having headaches, feeling body aches, emotionally feeling more down, low energy, sad. Also in terms of feeling this disconnect from work. A lot of times people share they're feeling more cynical or doubtful about their work prospects, losing motivation. So it can be across many layers, and it's important to pay attention when these signs start to emerge.
All right, so to prevent this from happening, what do you recommend?
Yeah, so first I would say to try to keep a routine and a schedule in your life. I know one of the benefits we thought of working from home was if I start at 9 o'clock in the morning, I can just roll out of bed, log on to my computer, and then start my day. But that creates problems because we don't allow ourselves for those healthy transitions in the morning that we usually would do if we're commuting to work. Things like, for example, working on, go listen to podcasts or, reading your paper in the morning or going for a workout. These transitions into your day. And at the end of the day, these transitions from work to on your commute home can provide mental and physical buffers that are healthy for you, that can help you feel a little bit of those healthy transitions and to disconnect. Because if you go right into work and jump right out of work, you're not providing yourself with those important markers that can help with healthier mood and attitude as you carry on in your days.
Okay, so keep a schedule, keep a routine. You also suggest that we should create a water cooler at home. What do you mean by that exactly?
Yeah, it's I would say more like a virtual social water cooler where, at work, when you are at the office, you can spend, 10 minutes here going for a walk or go grabbing a coffee or going to the water cooler and catching up with coworkers. And working from home can be very isolating. Right. So I encourage people to create those 10, 15-minute water cooler moments in their day, whether it's a 10-minute phone call, a 10-minute phone call while you're walking, getting fresh air, chatting with your coworkers to see how things are going socially, to break up your day and to reconnect and to talk about things that are not important for us in terms of being able to create a balance in our days and to not get so caught up in the work situation. And also it's important even after hours. If you could create like a happy hour, whether it's, over Zoom or something, having a drink, chatting about things, whatever it is, to create those kind of social norms that we used to have at the office.
All right, your final step includes boundaries, and this can get difficult, particularly if you live with many people. So how do we do this?
Yeah, it's changed our perspective on work-life balance because we're working from home literally, right? So there's hard to have that balance. So the first thing I would say is to create appropriate boundaries. And if your house allows you, your home space allows you to create a dedicated office space. And that space is strictly for doing your work. And you let your loved ones and your roommates or whoever else know that when I'm in that space, I'm working. And then when you leave that space, you can engage in other activities that are leisure, recreation, or relaxation. And I even encourage people who use office spaces as a separate space to not do leisure or recreational things in there as well. If you're taking a break, like we talked about the water cooler, or taking care of yourself, leave that office space. And if your workspace your house doesn't allow for a separate dedicated space, if you're working in your living room or your kitchen, just make sure at the end of the day, whenever you're done, you just put everything away, out of sight, out of mind, so to speak. And you create those real hard line boundaries and say, if this was 5 o'clock on a work day at the office, I would be jumping on a train right now, catching my bus. So when the day is done, stop the work. And it's so hard to do that now because when we're working from home, everything is accessible, and that can lead to longer hours, less work-life balance, and then that perpetuates that cycle where you don't have that break and can lead to more burnout. So we need to create boundaries and to really protect our work-life balance.
Well, listen, some great tips, because it looks like with the second wave underway, at-home work for a lot of folks isn't ending anytime soon. Maneet, good to see you, and thanks so much.
Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.